Hello, everyone. Welcome back to What Businesses Need to Know Right Now. Today, I have brought Maggy Sterner, brand messaging coach, to the conversation to talk about your elevator pitch. So I'm excited to jump into this topic. Welcome, Maggy. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Nettie. It's really great to be here. I could talk about this all day long.
That's my favorite kind of topic, the one that we're just like getting all of the insider scoop on, that you just have so much expertise. And I was looking back, I'm excited to bring you to this conversation. You have a wealth of experience, starting with journalism and media and being a producer from TV to radio. And now you've brought this wealth of experience to business owners, entrepreneurs, and talking about your brand messaging. So can you speak for just a moment, on that trajectory? What are you pulling from those years of production to
God.
now?
That, and also I've worked at NPR's website as a user experience analyst, writer, producer, all around utility player. What I got from all my experiences, TV, radio, photojournalism, and online work, is the ability to, I discovered it accidentally and only in retrospect, the ability to look at a big complicated situation and go, what's happening here? I had to walk into stories and go, chaos, what's the story, what's happening, what's important, what's not important? Because there were always these junctures that you'd come to where you'd have to make a decision. So my job was to walk into chaos. Even online, even at NPR, there was always something happening where you'd come to a crossroads and have to go, what is the thing that's happening here, and how to make a decision? And also how to find the essence of the problem. As a user experience analyst, I had people would write in with symptoms, and I'd have to go look to find the solution to it for whatever online thing. And it wasn't always a perfect match. So I have this ability to be I'm a good detective. I'm a persistent reporter. I never give up until I get the answer. And that skill informs me as a brand coach now, because everybody comes to me with some level of, I don't even want to say chaos, but a jumbly big bag of things. I call them like a box of Legos, and they don't know what they offer, and they don't know how to articulate it, and they're a little unsure about their target audience and their niche, or they're afraid to pick one. So we throw the Legos on the floor, I always picture it on a garage floor.
Yeah.
And then what we're looking, like what Legos in here are rocket ship, and then we throw away the ones that aren't rocket ship. What's the story? What's not the story?
Well, I love the parallel here, because I think that big picture and sorting out the pieces comes in really handy when solving all sorts of problems, whether it's your messaging or any other challenge that you might be faced with as a business owner. So one of the big challenges that business owners are faced with is bringing new business in, bringing new clients in. And what do you feel like is the biggest skill that business owners need to have in order to bring and attract new clients?
I'm so happy you asked that question. The number one skill, I believe, is clarity about what you offer. It's kind of a multi-one skill. Clarity. What do you offer? Who do you serve? What problem do you solve? What results do you deliver? And most important, the ability to articulate that clearly and simply so that even your mother could understand, or a 5-year-old. People, when I hear people introduce themselves at networking events, wherever or online, they want to talk about what they used to do and hear what they do now, and they want to throw their resume and all their coaching letters and certifications and PhDs. I'm like, I help who have what so that they end up with, and my real job is to be your this. That's it. I just want to know what you do. And it's not your job title, although that's connected to it. For example, I asked you what do you call yourself? What do you say you are? And you said CEO of, and I went, oh, but that doesn't tell me what you do, right? So then you clarified it and said a productivity executive coach. And that gave me a handhold. I went, oh, I get it. So it's in that, I could see the realm it was in, and suddenly I was clear. And then I knew what questions to ask you. I would say, tell me more. but not if you say CEO. I'm not like, I don't know where to go with that. So
Right.
what I'm actually describing is like a think aloud user experience.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell me what you do, and I don't, if I go, ooh, tell me more, you've nailed it. If
Right.
I go, oh, that's it, huh? That you haven't nailed it. Then I don't
You
know.
just lost that particular fish, huh?
Exactly.
So how do we refine that? And you gave a great template. I help who do what, how, and so that they can, and then you added onto there, and basically I do. So is that it? Is that the framework? It's just really clarifying and putting the pieces into that template. Is there anything that you might give our listeners if they're feeling like it's hard to refine it down to that framework?
So, there's the framework I use. So we start with a little question that speaks directly into the heart. You can speak to the pain that
Mm-hmm.
your ideal client is struggling with, the problem, or you can speak into the longing. So let's say I'm going to just give you an example. You know how the last question you ever want to hear is, "What do you do?"
Mm-hmm.
It feels like somebody just stuck a dagger in your heart and you never want to answer it because you bumble all around. I'm Maggie Sterner and I'm a brand and business coach. I help entrepreneurs learn how to clearly speak about what they do so that they attract perfect clients. My real job is to be your brand message detective.
Beautiful. And thank you for that example. Well, just a showcase of how telling that story so that that connects with their pain point or their aspiration, encapsulating that clear template so that they know who, what, where, when, how, why, and then, really wrapping it up with, and bottom line, if you didn't take anything else away.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
because the elevator pitch, its number one job is to give people the broad stroke.
Mm-hmm.
People go, but I want to say this, and I have so many things, and I do all this, and I help all of them and everybody. And I'm like, whoa, our human brains can't handle too much information at one time. So you mentioned the word story. We're telling a story, and a story has a particular structure. It
Mm-hmm.
has an arc. It gives people a place to go, oh, you want to give it to people in a way that a human brain actually understands a description.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me too much data, I'm like, I can't. Like, I just don't, please, no. But if you give me a broad stroke and you paint me a picture, our brains are wired for metaphors, for images. We're always looking for little pictures to concoct. And the structure follows the arc of a story. And then my real job
Mm-hmm.
or I'm the go-to person for, that's what I call the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where it comes together. The kicker never comes first because it would be too confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So all the pieces are in a very specific order so that people can follow it. And that first part where it's, you know how, or ever wish, or are you tired of, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
that is to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we're actually doing, we're getting out of our heads and dropping into our hearts because we want to connect with people. When I introduce myself at a concert, I mean, I was at Bruce Springsteen on Broadway and I told some guy what I did. He immediately said, I need you and everybody I work with need you. People just say it. If they don't need me, they don't say anything. They go, huh, that's kind of cool. That's awesome too.
Right.
But if the right people are not going, I need you, or tell me more when you tell them what you do, or if they look confused, or they start like looking like they want to talk to somebody else, that's a clue that your message is, you're not bottom lining it. It's a clue your message isn't connecting with the people you want to reach.
So I love how you've given us not only the words, but then also the markers to see, like, you're going to test this out. And for everybody who's listening, it's testing the waters. You try something, you see the reaction. If it hit, great, maybe refine it a little bit and go again. If it didn't, definitely, you want to dig into why that didn't connect with the person. Was it that they weren't interested, or was it that the message wasn't clear? So thank you for kind of giving us all of those pieces. And you have something else as well. Is it okay to share that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So
Whatever it is.
I know, whatever it is, you shared this
Of course,
pitch
share.
power workbook. So if you're interested in what we're saying is resonating with you today, check out the workbook that Maggie's put together. It's in the banner below, and it's also in the comments. So you can just click on it and then access that workbook. Thank you so much for joining us today, Maggy. For our listeners, if you enjoyed this interview and you'd like to hear more, if you'd like to participate in some of the other interviews that we have coming up, I encourage you to check out what businesses need to know now.com, and you'll see the whole series. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to respond. Thank you so much, Maggy, and for our listeners.
Thank you, Nettie.